Hello everyone, my name is Nathan, and today it's time for another episode of Oxygen Not Included in the Ultimate Base 3.0. In the previous episode, we finally made it to the second planetoid, and today it's time to establish ourselves on it in preparation for the arrival of real duplicants. I intended to send Gossmann here sacrificially, however, they just kept on surviving, and now we have all these swamp chart hearts which are also going to provide us with food. We have over 20,000 kilocalories, more than enough for one duplicant, and additionally we have so much polluted water off-gassing that we do not need our own oxygen production right away. There was even a pitcher pump ready for us to use, absolutely unbelievable. So I just quickly installed an outhouse so Gossmann isn't going to pee on the floor. We have the wash basin here. I'm also harvesting more or less everything that is nearby, especially the bog plants and the swamp chart hearts, because they can more or less be eaten the way they are. Though I believe the bog buckets I will actually have to cook up somehow. The only thing we might want to think about is setting up a fridge somewhere, or we just use this ice biome in order to store the stuff. Yeah, I mean, this is a surprisingly large ice biome, I have to say. I did not expect that here. We'll have to see once we send some more duplicants over. As long as I still have access to the rover here, I want to make sure we explore as much as possible of this planetoid. Gossmann here is just too slow. I was expecting them to die on the first day. Had I known what I know now, I would have taken a good duplicant. But man, I just didn't want to risk anything. So should Gossmann die, they still have served their purpose. I cannot watch them all the time because they are just too slow. My face falls asleep watching them. Wait a second, didn't I put you in a different schedule at some point? I made a schedule, but I forgot to put you there actually. Gossmann, you're gonna have that schedule, and right now you're in downtime. Well, that's fine. Let's make some work slots still. So all of that is gonna be work slots. I guess they could be in the first schedule. In the meantime, the robot is opening some more gaps to plants that we can use and feed our duplicant with. Right now, I do not have the ability to dig through abyssalite on this planetoid. What we could try is wake up the duplicant that is in here, see what we get. Maybe that one is actually a good one. But there's also a little gap in the abyssalite that we're gonna take advantage of. So, sedimentary rock, and we just, yeah, I guess ladder our way down here. See what we can find on the way. Though I can also not dig granite. Let me see. Gossmann, do you already... No skills whatsoever. We need at least hard digging for the granite, I would say. Is there any other way we could do some more exploration? Freaking abyssalite is just making a huge barrier. But look at all the Weezwards. This is gonna be so easy to actually send materials back. We can just use an interplanetary launcher. I mean, once we have established this colony, we might not even have to send back and forth too many rockets if we do this right. Well, in this case, in preparation for the arrival of more duplicants, I think I'm already gonna start with my ladder setup. In the end, I would like to excavate most of the stuff, especially around here and eventually for the entirety of the planetoid. Additional planetoids aren't gonna look as nifty as our main planetoid, but they're still gonna be nice. And it should somehow still be considered ultimate. This here is gonna be my way up to the surface, and then we start to just dig away everything. This way, Gossmann is going to get a whole bunch of skills that we might be able to spend on granite mining and such. But I think that is going to be the focus for a little while, and maybe also a little infrastructure with batteries, or place a fridge somewhere, I don't know yet. I have a little problem with these plug slugs. They do consume my ore, that's what they eat, and all they do is produce power. I mean, right now on this planetoid it might be useful, but I would like to keep my ore. We also still have many plug slugs everywhere, so I guess, yeah, I'm just gonna kill this one off. This feels great. I'm actually so glad we finally started doing this. I mean, don't get me wrong, I didn't want to rush going to the second planetoid. We could have done this way earlier, but every time I prematurely abandon projects, sometimes I don't make them ultimate. So you will be seeing me getting back to earlier projects more and more, until they are absolutely perfect. Okay, looks like we're a step further. I also accidentally took more plants apart than I originally intended, so why not go ahead and plant a bunch of these swamp chart hearts? Actually, we do not have a seed for them just yet. What about the bog buckets? We get some bog jelly from that. I wanted to go with the swamp chart hearts because they don't seem to be spoiling. This means we're going to be forced to use the bog jelly, and it's going to use polluted water, 40 kilograms a cycle. We then get 1,840 kilocalories out of it. Well, we're gonna get started with 3 of them and see how we do. The polluted water, I do not have much of it yet available to a pitcher pump. I think I might install that here at the bottom where everything is naturally gonna flow to. Give them ladder access and that should be fine. So we're gonna try it with 3 plants. I just need to know how long does it take for the bog jelly to grow completely. Wait, this plant requires complete darkness. Ah, I totally forgot. This is complete darkness. As long as we don't have lights, it's complete darkness. Also, we found this big brain jar here already there. I want to inspect it for a bunch of data disks and then we're gonna demolish it. Same thing here with the simple jar. We can inspect it and probably get data disks, then demolish it. In the future, when we actually have a setup here on the main planetoid in order to send materials easy to other planetoids, I'm gonna make use of it. However, we have everything available to us that we require on this planetoid and it's not even gonna be that much of a waste. So what I'm gonna do is leave enough space for a coal generator here together with a smart battery. And then temporarily right here, we're also gonna have a manual generator. The hamster wheel, everything cobalt, of course. Gonna have a jumbo battery here and then let's connect this with some wiring. Okay, what do we want to power first with that? I know exactly what I want to power, namely a rock crusher. I'm gonna have that here. And we also already hooked this one up. Why do we want a rock crusher? Of course, we want to build a rocket platform. This way we will be able to land a rocket here, fill it up with CO2 again, and then actually successfully fly it back. Using coal generators in the future, we'll be able to fuel up the CO2 engines again. And then considering we can capture all the waste gases of the rocket, we shouldn't have problems when it comes to fuel. Wow, I'm actually surprised. The rover can even already build a rock crusher, but it can definitely not use it. That's why we have Gossmann here. Wow, building with cobalt ore looks absolutely insane. I might actually use that for the living module. I kind of like the blue, but we need to be mindful about using cobalt when it comes to the material colors mod. I think we might have to upgrade the priorities of the farm plots a little bit because Gossmann currently has no priority and they seem to prefer digging and building over farming. Also, we now get rotten bog jelly, which I believe is gonna produce germs, potentially. Maybe actually not even, but I still want to take care of a compost. So I think what I would like to see here is a little separate room with 2 compost bins. We'll leave the space for a deodorizer, though I don't even know if I have sand available. Coal we don't have here, and I don't think we have a filtration medium either. So generally speaking, we need to ship over coal and sand to this planetoid already. That means we will be able to service these composts, but right now we couldn't do anything about the deodorizer. Still, let's go ahead and close off this room, and we're also gonna connect it to the power grid. The robot by now has a low battery charge. That is unfortunate, was quite a big help, and Gossmann is gonna be all alone after that. You know, looking at this, it could very well be that the swamp chart hearts only grow once, and once you harvest them, they are gone. Before I forget, Gossmann also got a skill, so we need to go into heart digging, and that is gonna open up many more possibilities. Okay, what is happening with that swamp heart? It is gone. Okay, good to know. With that new skill at hand, I think I'm just gonna dig my way down here. And then we try to reveal some more of the bottom area. I want to know where the oil biome starts. Also, is there going to be another magma layer we have to take care of? Or is this just going to be a very extremely agreeable planetoid? It might even have been easier to start on this one, to be quite frank with you. That's interesting. Dismantling the conveyor loader gave us 200 kilograms of metal. Yeah, but I think for a rocket platform we need more. We need 800 kilograms. Yeah, there's no way for us to accomplish this, so let's go ahead, speed this up a little bit. I want to get to using the rock crusher. We can already go for cobalt ore, 50 kilograms per craft. That means we want 16 crafts to get our 800 kilograms. And of course, Gossmann should be taking care of everything. Hopefully they fixed it by now so that the rovers cannot be disassembled. It would just be horrible to have them in the world forever. Ah, looks like we have our first idle dupe again here. That usually means something is wrong. Looks like we have absolutely no atmo suits. And that doesn't make sense because we have way more docks than actual dupes. We have a bunch of atmo suits that don't seem to be picked up anymore. So that could be for several reasons, but what I found helps is if you deliver just as many as you have on the floor. So we're gonna deliver one here, deliver one there, deliver one on the top, and if I remember correctly, Gossmann snatched an atmo suit for their journey. So we just build another one here and then deliver another one there. Okay, and that hopefully is gonna fix our problems. I thought about the game plan a little bit for the second planetoid. What I would like to do is prepare this for the arrival of a really good duplicant with all the necessary skills to make this into the perfect second planetoid. It is probably going to be Harold because he can basically build everything, and then once we get a duplicant that can take over for him, then that's the one we send over. To make sure we prepare this properly for the next duplicant, I would like to make all the room setups and everything, so it's kind of gonna be a early permanent living module with a layout focused on giving the highest morale possible. So we can have a really skilled duplicant in here, and then this duplicant will be able to build the rest of the contraptions all on their own, because they are very talented. Now, of course, this is going to be a long-term project. I'm just going to be working on that, and for now, I believe what I need to make sure is that we can send some basic materials over. For that, I would imagine we want to unlock a few things. We definitely need the automation broadcaster and receiver, but that is not our biggest hurry, it's just the automation. In the beginning, we can send materials manually. We just need the interplanetary launcher. And I believe, yeah, we should have enough in order to research that. We also get the targeting beacon. So what we essentially want to do is set up a targeting beacon at a convenient spot and then a payload opener. The planetary launcher is going to send materials in a capsule right to the beacon, and then we can open it at the payload opener, and that's going to be our coal, sand and metal source for the foreseeable future for this planetoid. Also, speaking of research, the artifact analysis station requires an art tube to actually take care of it. So either we allow Otto to do some researching or we allow Devon to do some decorating. But I think I'm going to do it with Otto, and he's just going to have an extremely low priority in researching. Maybe it shouldn't be the lowest priority, like it should be higher than supplying and storing, right? Otherwise they're just going to keep on sweeping materials. So I'm gonna move it further up in the priority. Since they do not have any research skill whatsoever, they should still, for the most part, not use the facility. I mean, the only machine they can use is the standard research station, and for everything else they would require a skill. But now they can at least use the analysis station here, and we can already see it is Otto's current errand, which is fantastic. And there he is, analyzing it. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. Good. How are we going to do this with the interplanetary launcher? We might need a contraption like this in order to fill up the launcher, but then I also need a way to cool it down. So maybe we get away just using the Weezeworts to cool it down, but it needs to be within atmosphere, that is for sure. So let's say we use this little part here. This way we get down. The interplanetary launcher would go right there, and then we need a chamber with the Weezeworts and the rat ball generator. There, we got actually 5 databanks analyzing this, and now Otto is doing the research. This is really not what I wanted you to do. Yeah, I mean, they're so slow, and they surely have some cooking to do, right? Okay, that is a problem. Gonna lower the research priority by a little bit, so at least there are other things they can still do. And then maybe if I put this research station to priority 1, as a matter of fact, we could do them with all. Maybe that is gonna help. I mean, we don't need to do this often, we don't get that many artifacts, and Otto can just do it when he's got nothing else to do. I actually just had a much better idea. What we're gonna do is restrict access, and that is gonna allow us to up the priority for Otto in terms of researching. Researching can have the second to highest priority for Otto, but since we're gonna restrict access, he cannot actually go down and use the research station. Though we need to close this off really quickly, since that just opened up a gaping hole to space. Something else you made me aware of here is we should up the priority of this atmosuit dock to 9, because when the coincidence occurs that the atmosuit breaks right in that moment, then that tube is going to be absolutely stuck until a new atmosuit is being delivered. It's just right now we definitely do not have more space to accommodate for that. Check this out. Yeah, inserting the floppy disk, I just love it. And then that whole virtual reality thing. Research is such a great topic in this game. It's just so sad that eventually it stops and everything is going to become useless. What's happening on the second planetoid? Where's Gossmann? Right here. Oh, we are still running like crazy. And we still have 12 cobalt ores to make. Jeez, he's just the slowest dupe ever. There we go. That's what I wanted to see. I'm gonna restrict access here for Otto. Otto is not allowed to go there. As a matter of fact, can I just remove permissions for everyone except Devon? Devon, where are you? You can go... hold on. You can go in and out. So now Otto can use the artifact station when they are ready. They probably still had to cook something up. but after cooking and decorating, they will do the research. So eventually they will find the time to do it. I think I'm gonna need some more space. I'm already gonna remove another solar panel and we will be adding that to the other side, I guess. And it happened. Okay, everything is working out the way I want it to now. I'm so glad about being able to restrict access. Looking at the bog jelly here, it actually loses 25% freshness per cycle, so I decided to install a fridge here in the carbon dioxide environment, and we are running some cable upstairs. However, much more important, we are done with the research, which means we can build our interplanetary launcher. I want this thing to be right here. We will not have to take care of cooling this, but of course we're gonna need a setup similar to this one in order to generate the necessary wrap bolts. We can't really do it the same way unless we want to lose tons of wrap bolts, so my suggestion is to build the system here at the bottom, and then if we have the wrap bolt generator straight aiming at the thing, we should be fine. So that means we need to build this 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks away, and so now we know the configuration we need for our plants. Maybe this time around, if we swap the auto sweeper and the wrap bolt generator, we can have an additional plant here at the bottom, and overall it's going to be a benefit even though we are one more block away from the plants. So instead we're going to put our wrap bolt generator flat, pointing still on the same level as the machine, but we're going to move everything else a little bit further down. Just enough so we can set up the auto sweeper right there, with plant here, there, and there. See if we actually manage to collect more this way. With our new refrigerator, let's store the bog jelly, and I'm actually going to do this at a very high priority and expel them out of the ration box. Okay, now here towards the sides, I'm gonna try to shield the duplicants a little bit with plastic tiles, but we do need one tile that is free here. And what I'm actually gonna do is set up a liquid spot here. This way we will be able to maintain a gas in this room and actually actively cool it down using the Wii-sports. Good, then let's wrap up the room by enclosing it. There's a little bit of polluted oxygen left here, which is unfortunate. I'm not sure we can actually get rid of that. At least not the easy way. This one I believe is just going to be a test setup in order to see whether or not that idea is kind of working, but we might have to take this to the next level in the final build. As a liquid, I actually want to go with naphtha. Now, I haven't mopped that up just yet, but I believe there's some at the bottom here. So maybe up the priority for the mopping command here. Bert, thank you very much, you shall be remembered. Now, I should have that available to me. Where? Ah, there. Maybe it was there before. I was actually looking for something black. But we got it, naphtha. Why naphtha? It doesn't really matter. I'm choosing it because it is still pretty cold here and I don't want to risk anything. There it is. What happened? Yeah, exactly what I was hoping for. Wow, this was like the perfect amount of naphtha. It's totally in there. Let's deconstruct this. To make it easy on me, I might just want to install a gas pump. Come on. And a pipe out with a gas vent. We're gonna control this with a signal switch like so. Then what's the automation of this guy? It has an input and an output, so we can enable or disable it. That is going to be mighty useful. That means we can send a signal from another planetoid when we need more materials. I'm loving this. And this is sending a green signal when the rat bolt storage is full. So we can go with the same setup as with our science machine, just a NOT gate. We want to shut down the auto sweeper as well as the rat bolt collector. This needs to face the right way, and then we need to power everything. I will be hooking this up to a different circuit, but for now we're just gonna use this guy, continue over there and power all of these. Now I need to be careful. The way I'm building this right now, I will not be able to enter again. Actually I will be, I just have to take apart one block. Okay, no problem, let's build it this way and also clean up at the same time. Well, maybe not that. Alright, I think we're ready to wrap this up. I'm still researching something here, namely the payload opener. That was something we were missing in robotic tools. We got the room ready, I already pumped it out. Let's go ahead and deconstruct the gas vent. No, actually I'm still gonna need that in order to fill everything up with hydrogen. I built this pipe all the way down to our hydrogen source, and now it's time to hook this up so we can get some of that. Research completed, let's head over to the second planetoid. I already started planning out where I want my rocket platform. It's gonna go right here, and so my payload opener should also be somewhat nearby. Maybe we're just gonna do something like this for our beacon, so we can kind of utilize that liquid lock. And then I can have my payload opener maybe right there, both of which require power if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they actually do. Hopefully we can supply that, but we should be able to go up here. I want to make sure I don't destroy the terrain. And so everything from the interplanetary launcher will land in this area. We can bring it down to open it and then utilize it in the base. That's good enough to get ourselves started. Now I'm just waiting for my duplicants to actually clean everything up, and we're also waiting for the hydrogen, which should be on its merry way. Or maybe not. It's just slow. And hallelujah. What we're gonna need is a conveyor receptacle, something we newly researched, by the way. And eventually we want to feed this with our main system. But for now, I'm just gonna use the conveyor loader here, and we're gonna rail it up. This is gonna get power from the spine. And let's maybe make sure this is being built rather quickly, because that's the last component we really need. Good, it looks as though we're already full, so I'm gonna make this actually flow back. All we have to do is swap the bridges. The conveyor receptacle is reserved for our plants with the phosphorite, so we need to add that and allow manual use. The auto sweeper should then be able to take from the receptacle, and we can even... No, there's no automation for this, so we cannot really send a signal, but you know, it just gets full when it gets full, and that's that. I think to wrap things up, I want to set up a switch here to be able to enable or disable the building. Finally, everything is cleaned up. That means we're gonna set up the plants. Let me go ahead, find that. Weeswort, we got 7, which is perfect. Well, it's more than perfect, we only need 5. So I'm waiting for them to be planted, and then we can also wrap up the room. Yeah, I think at this point we're just gonna enable everything, right? Wait, I disconnected the cabling. There we go. If we enable this, then the auto sweeper is gonna take the phosphorite. Wait, maybe a duplicant... Ah, okay, so if a duplicant already has the errand, the auto sweeper isn't doing it. I didn't know that. Or actually, I did know that. It's just sometimes my discoveries are made all over again. Anyways, we're gonna need a conveyor loader here, and that might be a problem, at least in the beginning, because this one here isn't cooled down. But you have to imagine, for every material we want to send to a specific planetoid, we will have its own system. And then we can send a signal from the other planetoid when we need the materials, and then here will be a signal going down to the centralized storage bringing in the materials. So that's gonna be amazing to witness. But until then, we're just gonna be happy hooking this up manually. And just checking on Gossmann, we are already done with the beacon. That's going to be the most important part. I don't want my payload to go all the way over there. Okay, looks like we built everything. I want to make sure we also built this tile. Maybe pick up that, and then everyone is going to be happy. We are now collecting 93 wrap bolts a cycle. That seems like it's less than we had over here. So that is something I have to observe. Just having the wrap bolt generator down here gives me much more radiation. Okay, we got our wrap bolts, and the machine isn't even halfway filled up. So it will still be sending a red signal. I think I'm still gonna stick to 50 wrap bolts. My duplicants are not gonna generally be here. They might feed the conveyor loader and everything, but I think we're gonna be fine. With that out of the way, I can probably wrap up the episode in dignity. And then the next time we can start sending materials over on a regular basis, and we can also start setting up a rocketry program, and then start with a proper living module. So once I bring over the VIPs, they are also gonna be happy. But yeah, with that out of the way, I would say we're gonna wrap it up. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Have a great time, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.